Welcome to Nerds Geeks in the Kitchen Sink, the podcast that's like hanging out at the video store. My name's DK. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Chris, your other host.
Improve if you feel like it. I'd
Welcome
like
to the
to,
chaos.
yes, I'd like to improve my sitting situation. I have a little pillow that I normally rest behind my little back area.
Uh-huh.
This spooky,
Oh,
creepy
nice.
pillow, but I
Very
didn't have
cool.
it. So now let me just move this here.
Okay.
And in doing that, I almost knocked over my dice. My Chris, I have to tell you about something.
Okay.
And hi everyone. We're here to talk about all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Y'all see these dice?
Yeah.
You know what those are for?
I know what they're for.
Dungeons and Dragons. Not just
Yes.
Dungeons and not just Dragons, both of them
Right.
together. I'm playing my
And
first game of Dungeons and Dragons in 20 years. Uh, I thought I couldn't handle it. I thought I wouldn't be able to take it seriously.
right.
I had such a bad situation happen when I played it
First.
in the early 2000s that I was like,
Right.
I hate this. I'm never going to play it again. I'm not one of those D&D nerds. Get out of here. That's not my bag, baby.
Right.
But I had the right thing happen and the right course of events and people,
Mm-hmm.
and it just came up, and I said, okay, let's try it. And so we've had 3 sessions now,
Nice.
and I have to say that I'm having a great time. I don't. It's probably really boring for people to like tell you about their D&D campaign, so I'm not going to like go over it all. But tell you what, some of the most fun I've had is like just like taking notes. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind
Yeah.
of my character
There it
thing.
goes. Yeah.
Um, I have all kinds of fun notes.
Right.
You see there in the
Yeah,
bottom
you
right,
see
it
him.
says
Yep.
Goblin Taint. Things like that.
Yeah.
I have this little journal and I'm taking notes and I'm having fun and I'm like, we're doing it every week and it's
Nice.
like I'm
Are you
getting
doing
into
it
it.
in person or are you doing it
the,
over?
the the team I have to do this with are all over the place, so we're doing it through Discord,
Oh,
which is
awesome.
a bummer for sure. But
It can be fun though.
you know what? Let me open this. Oh, there you go. It is a bummer, but with what technology we have now, like, so it's integrated into Discord now.
Right.
So there's like a thing you can do where you just open Discord and it's set up with a service called Roll20, and
Right.
it's like you buy the module and it's like there it is on the screen and it's like there's the map of where we are and you can put your token on the screen and move things around.
Oh,
You can ping
that's awesome.
stuff. I mean, everyone can interact with the map. The um the DM can turn on like line of sight type stuff, like all kinds of
Right.
cool things, right? And it makes it a lot easier for people to understand like the lay of the land and like, well, where am I? Where's this goblin?
Right.
What's going on here. uh it was our first time. Everyone in this group's really kind of their first time playing.
Right.
For me, it might as well have been. And the DM thought it would be a good idea for us to all do pre-made characters,
Okay.
which I was like, okay, fine, I don't care.
Right.
But he did encourage us to sort of customize them a little bit, so I did. I kind of got forced into the wizard role, so I'm
Okay.
a dark elf wizard. And yeah, it's been fun. I cast my first magic missile this week. You get 3 darts with that. 3 darts.
Yep.
It's fun, Chris.
I haven't played in like 20 years.
Yeah, literally me too.
And it's, yeah, we used, I'm the old pencil and paper and die. And,
Yeah.
you know, you can
Which
ask, you
we
can
can
ask
all you can
Sean,
do it digitally. Like you can roll digitally, but we all
right.
still prefer to roll the real
Well, yeah,
dice.
yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you know how some people roll into a box, you have a
Right.
special thing. This is
Yep.
what I roll into. I got a Taco Bell box, baby.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Fireball does pretty much, if you eat Taco Bell, if you know, you know.
Live Moss. All right. Anyway, I know you were saying you and Sean used to play.
No, yeah, when we were kids, we were basically, minus the real life Demogorgons and the Cold War stuff, we were the kids from Stranger Things.
You went to a packed showing of Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. It didn't happen.
No. Now, Faces in Death, that's another story.
Oh, they just put that on Shudder, and I was like, "Do I watch it?" I saw it a long time ago, and I don't think I want to see it again, to be honest. Yeah. Well, what the hell's been going on? What about you?
Just been doing stuff around here. Some reading at least two different comics that I've read.
Oh,
So the one that you gave me on your trip to the last comic shop, and
yes.
then one that we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Shit, I forgot. We need to talk about that.
Yeah,
I have another comic to talk about. Do you want to jump into comic talk right now?
yeah, let's go for it.
Well, first of all, I should say we do have a guest coming on later
Yeah,
to discuss further comic things, but this is a comic book creator that we have coming on, so that's something
right,
to look forward to. Um, that comic is something we will discuss. I should
right.
have it in here, and of course, I've left it in the other room.
I've got mine here.
Okay, good.
So
Let's jump into that Wolverine Revenge
yes,
comic. Now, right off the bat, it's a bummer that there are two different editions of it, and I
right,
I didn't realize that. And so when they gave me, I was like, I want two of those, and they gave me two of them. I was like, oh, this one's wrapped and that one's not, and they were the same price, and I was like, okay, whatever. I just wasn't even thinking
right,
about it.
right,
So I got the red band one,
right.
and you got the basic one.
Yeah,
My understanding of the differences is that there's a lot more gore and language and just all around violence. I know
right,
Wolverine gets covered in entrails.
right,
There's that whole panel that I think is one of the greatest Wolverine panels in the last 20 years or whatever. Um, which I guess it's a spoiler, but I will show it in a second
right,
because it's incredible. I did put it in the Discord already, but
right.
I want people who maybe are watching on YouTube to be able to see it. It's incredible. But what are your thoughts so far?
Um, there's things that I like. I see where it kind of goes, and then there's things that I'm not a huge fan of. And we've discussed that the way they treat one character or the way they develop his story or how they're telling him right now, I'm not a fan
And
of.
is that really your biggest beef? Is the we can just say it's Colossus. You don't like
Yeah,
the way they're treating Colossus.
right, right. Or at least the way they're writing Colossus.
Right, exactly.
Because that's just not him. It hasn't, even when he's done, things in the characters like with the acolytes, not the shitty Star Wars ones, but the Marvel one.
Right.
Um, he still had a sense of like what was right and wrong and wasn't completely,
Well,
it's hard to completely describe, but
I would argue that this isn't a question of right and wrong. It's basically like my countrymen or those
or no,
foreigners, when you
or
look at
should
it
I
like
say
that.
more like morality? Let me say more of morality, a sense of morality,
So,
which
so
in
do
this
you?
little panel is bust that whole thing, in my opinion.
Because I think I understand his choice to side with the side that he goes with,
Right.
but the brutality of what happens to the heroes is maybe where is that more your problem?
I think that's part of it.
Like
Yeah.
that he goes along with that.
Right. And he would
It's
have never.
brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal.
And look, it's been out for a month now or so.
Right.
And if people, and look, maybe this will get people interested. And if you don't want to know any spoilers for Wolverine Revenge, skip ahead. But
Right.
maybe we'll just kind of go over briefly. Like, basically, Asteroid M has caused basically Armageddon to happen on a big portion of the world. There's an EMP has happened.
Right.
So there's really one power source in the entire world. And somewhere in like Russia kind of has it. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's like northern Siberia
Somewhere
kind of.
over
Yeah.
there. And basically, Nick Fury grabs a team of people to go, hey, the West needs this. Let's go get it.
And by
And
the way, the original Nick Fury,
it is the OG Nick Fury, which is an interesting
which
choice.
I kind of actually love.
It's weird to see,
bringing
like,
the old Nick back.
look, I love Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, but it is
Right.
fun to see my childhood Nick Fury
Right.
pop up and do, and he is kind of known for these gray area. Maybe this is
Right.
questionable, but he's the guy that does the dirty jobs, and this
Right.
is like the perfect thing, I think, particularly for that version of Nick Fury to
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
I think he is the ultimate, like, kind of right down the line. I think that Sam Jackson Nick Fury has more of a, like, he's always ultimately got a twinkle in his eye and like is taking care of it. But I don't know. I think this Nick Fury is like willing to let people die. He's willing to like throw things at the problem
Nick
until it's
Fury wouldn't
fixed.
yell. This Nick Fury wouldn't yell "Black Girl Magic."
I would be weird if he did. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's just say that several high-profile heroes get absolutely, literally exploded.
Right.
by a cool. I come on. I think you have to admit that the team of villains is a cool choice. Come
Yeah,
on, it's a cool choice.
I do admit the team of villains, but my only other thing, one other thing is, I don't like the way they changed one of the characters' kind of looks.
Sabretooth?
No,
Deadpool?
no, Omega Red.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't even really notice it, or I would have said that name first.
Yeah.
It's just a slight redesign, right? I mean, it's not that different, but it is different.
It's quite a bit different.
Well,
He's
from your
like,
standard, like, okay, like 80s Omega Red. Okay, I
and
agree.
but that was kind of the thing that made him so formidable, because he was bigger than Sabretooth, and in this comic they've
Mhm.
got him almost just an average guy size, which, you know,
That's fair.
this hulking Russian
Maybe
with
maybe it was
adamantium
forced perspective.
tentacles.
Maybe he
And
was far back in the room.
no, when they had them standing next to each other,
It was
it's
a
no, it
Gandalf
wasn't.
Frodo situation.
No,
The cart they're sitting on is actually really
no,
long.
yeah, no.
Okay.
But
When
that's a
Aragorn kicks the
nitpick.
helmet, he actually breaks his
I mean,
toe.
that's a nitpick. So
Yes, no, but I think, come on. The concept of this story is, and it's just like a fun romp in the Marvel world. The
right,
concept is, let's give Wolverine a reason to be pissed off and go on a revenge mission. And the
right,
setup couldn't be cooler.
yeah.
And
Now we'll
okay,
see where it goes. I
and
mean,
so
it's
let's just say that at the end, and again, this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, hit that 30-second forward button.
right,
At the end of the issue, Wolverine is fully exploded from within.
yeah,
I love their sneaky little
right,
explanation of how they got it to work. I love that they knew the nerds would be like, well, how do they do that? And they have a fun little, like, kind of believable in universe explanation
right.
as to how they were able to do that. So they blow his ass up, right? But at the end of the comic, this is the last panel in the red band version. Um, I should be showing this better, but like
No,
that
that's good right there. Put it
that
right
panel
there.
of Wolverine coming back, the crazy look in his eyes.
Right.
God, it's cool. I keep just like, I'll just pull it up every once in a while and go,
Yeah.
oh, I cannot. It's the first time in a long time where I'm like, I
Yeah.
cannot wait for the next issue of this.
Yeah.
Truly.
On my edition, I got from like just below the chin up,
That's all it
and
was.
that's all it
At
was.
least you got that.
Yeah.
But the full body image is just,
Now, mind you, they didn't show that. Yet they showed one of the Shield agents getting a sword like through his neck,
yeah,
and another well-known
high profile,
agent, high-profile agent,
totally decapitated.
decapitated. Yeah.
Yes, it's a cool. I'm excited for this little run, and I like that they've basically said already, like, this isn't some grand scheme. We just wanted to tell a cool
Right.
story,
Right.
and
And
that's
I am
for
fine with
me.
that.
If we
That's
just
what I
went that
want.
way for a long time and then had like one big event every so often,
Right.
sign me up. I think that's one way to get me more involved.
Well, and then we get this, and then now they're going with a storyline where they're going to kill off Storm. I'm like,
I haven't seen that one.
why? Why do we do this?
Well,
I mean, why do we do this? Even the thing is like in the 80s and 90s, which I consider, whatever they want to consider, but I consider it the golden age of stories
for X-Men anyway.
for X-Men. You had large events, but everything leading up to it was a lot smaller, and
Yep.
seemed more, I'm not going to say grounded, because they definitely weren't grounded,
No.
but more, like story driven,
Character
with
driven.
small events leading up to the large
Sure.
scaled, and then when they did a large event, it would be,
Days
you
of Future
know,
Past.
Days of Futures
Yeah.
Past, Inferno,
Yep.
Fall of the Mutants,
Age of
you'd
Apocalypse.
get like a 3 month, 3 issue, in each title, like 3 issues that they all worked together but had their separate individual stories.
Right.
And I feel like nowadays they don't get that,
Sure.
or they haven't, and it's this just megalopolis, conglomerate with every single character and every single thing, and
Absolutely.
every issue is, there's no individual storylines in the individual, books,
Yep.
but everything has to be all inclusive and tied together.
Yep.
And I think I think since probably 02, 04, right around there, that's when the Marvel, I think, really kind of lost.
Kind of is it the Ultimates,
Yeah.
roughly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel, this is something. So we were at a comic shop yesterday, and my wife was trying to find something interesting and different, and she found. I'm just going to share my screen here.
Okay.
Um, she found this that I had never heard of. Do you know Moonshadow?
No, this is a new one.
I don't. I don't know it at all. I had
This is an
honestly.
Epic Comics, yeah.
I had never heard of it.
85? Huh.
Yeah, and these are the ones she got our first run. She picked
Nice.
up a couple of these. The art seems to be watercolor
Okay.
on, and not just the covers, but in the comics. And it's essentially like, as this says, a fairy tale for grown-ups. Um, it's really interesting so far. She kind of just gave me a brief description. I will check into these and let you know if it's worth checking
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's just weird.
It really is giving me like Vertigo comic vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's not. It's a little early for that, isn't it? We're just about that.
85? No,
Just about that time,
that's
I
right
guess.
in there. Yeah, that's right in there.
But yeah, they're just over there. I could grab them, but I'll just show you this picture anyway. It's interesting, and because she started her comics adventure with She Loves Sandman.
Right.
She moved into Lucifer. She's now doing Lock and Key.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, she found this and she's like, oh, maybe I like this. So
Right.
I'll let you know if that's any good.
I mean, just by the cover art and the way they've got it set up to almost like a trading card kind of picture on top, and then the cover itself.
It's interesting.
I
Yeah.
kind of like that decision.
Yeah. You're totally
So,
right. It's strange anyway. Just the fact that I'd
yeah.
never heard of it. It's from the sweet spot for me. So
Right.
85, hell
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it is weird. I just maybe it wasn't. I don't know. If anyone listening or watching knows anything about Moonshadow or whatever, or knows things like this,
Do you know
please
who the author
send me
or
those
artist
recommendations.
is?
I can go grab it. It's right here.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. I can grab
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. I mean, these are kind of the things that right around that great time of storytelling, that late middle to late 80s, 90s, where it really had a lot of people jumping on. You had the Gaimans, you had the, McFarlane's doing art, you had, Lee kind of right in his wheelhouse. Claremont was still really hitting on his, I think that this was a golden age for comics, and trying new stuff.
This is the one I grabbed. It's number 4.
Okay.
Interesting, more interesting art.
I really like
the back has an ad for ElfQuest.
ElfQuest, yes. I think almost every other comic had a thing for ElfQuest on the back of it.
Right. Let's see. Okay. Writer, creator, J.M. DeMatteis.
Okay.
I don't know the name.
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head.
Illustrator is John J. Muth.
Okay.
Another name I don't recognize, to be fully honest with you.
Yeah.
No names I recognize. I mean, it is an Epic Comics, but it's
right.
I
mean, it's still under the Marvel.
It's a subset of Marvel. Yeah.
Right.
There's some really interesting art. I mean, and it does appear to be watercolor.
Right.
It's like hard to explain.
Show an interior page.
It's almost like Sandman in some ways, but like, look at this one in particular.
Right.
You can just see the watercolor.
Yeah.
The blending of the ink and the colors or whatever. Like, look at that. It's wild.
Right. You may want to expand us. It was kind of, it'll be a.
Oh, I don't know if can I do that? I don't know if there's a way for me to do that.
Well, just take the covers off, and then
do what now?
Quit sharing the covers that you have.
And then back to normal. I thought I did.
No, there you go. Now show.
When you say expand us, I'm like, what are you talking about? You sound insane right now.
I know, right? And there's no difference.
No. Um,
Okay, now show the another interior
okay,
shot
let
so
me
people
find.
can see.
I might just show that same one because I liked it. Here we
Right.
go.
Okay.
You can really see that it's.
Yeah.
I like the way the text is. It is. It does seem to be sort of a, like the cover says, like a fairy tale for adults.
Right.
I just have never heard of it, and I was so interested and surprised. There's weird things flying around, and there's a castle, and there's.
Right.
It
And
just
it
looks
looked like the
interesting.
Mad Hatter, the page over from the last one
I
you
did
showed.
see that. Yeah, it looked a little Alice in Wonderland for sure.
Wonderlandish.
So yeah. Anyway, I'll let you know.
So I wonder. I can't remember. Is 85 about the time that Vertigo started? A couple of.
That's what I was thinking. I guess
Because
I
if
could.
this is Marvel's answer to that, or
Vertigo Comics. No, man, 93.
was
This says
Sandman just
DC
under
Vertigo
DC?
93, founded in 93. So they probably stuck Sandman under their. The first original Vertigo series was Death, the High Cost of Living, a Sandman spinoff.
Okay, so yeah, Sandman was under DC,
Sandman was straight up just
straight
DC.
DC. All the hell, I was gonna say because I know those were out well before
Right.
'93.
But those
So
would also obviously fall under the Vertigo
right,
after that was a thing.
right.
So interesting. Yeah, I just, again, I had
Hmm,
never heard of this. I thought it was interesting. I'll
right.
let you know if it's any good.
Yeah, let me know because that may be something I'll go back and try to pick up.
Yep. Now, last thing, last
Okay.
comics thing. I know we've been talking about comics a lot.
Hey, we haven't in a while, so yes, I
Canary,
really, really just by your
Chris,
shots that you showed on Discord.
I truly think
I
you are going to love this comic. And I like so
okay.
want to ruin it and tell you things, but there are some amazing moments like already. And I'm only maybe a third of the way through,
Okay.
but there are some amazing moments already. Just this, the art alone is worth.
Right.
It's incredibly good.
Yeah. It's
Um,
that mid to late '80s, early '90s, gritty.
it's definitely gritty, and it's written by Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian.
Right.
It does not shy away from the violence. It does not shy away from the weird horror. There is definitely a horror
Right.
element to this. Um, but probably the coolest thing. I mean, yeah, the art is just so vivid and out there, and
Right.
I don't want to tell you what happens on that page actually because it's so cool. But I'm highly recommending this, and I've only read a third of it.
Right.
um, but the thing that I'm keep thinking about is the main character is such an interesting choice.
Okay.
He is a U.S. Marshal who has been sent on one last job, and he has this history, and he's got these things. He's well known, and he's kind of coming up against his own legend in some
Okay.
ways.
Hmm.
And so people think he's going to do one thing because they like. I guess there was they call it a dime novel. Somebody
Right.
had written a dime
The
novel
dime
about
store
his
novels.
his
Yep.
exploits or whatever,
Right.
and so
Kind of like Wyatt Earp. Yeah.
everyone thinks they know him from the dime novel, but you know, he's had enough of that, and he wants to do
Right.
his own thing and just get the job done. He's not. I don't want to say he's like a no nonsense guy because like he does seem to be okay with having some fun, but he's
Yeah.
also like here to get the job done
Right.
at any cost. Let's just get it done because I don't have time. It's really good. You're going to love it. I really
you,
think you're going to love it.
you know what sounds kind of funny? What reminded me of? Remember when we did like our own movies
Yep.
and my movie of the Sam Houston's Last Ride?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of.
In some ways, if you kind of combine our stories, I think this is somewhere in between
Right.
because I don't know this for sure, but there may be some kind of supernatural element to this.
Okay.
Um, there's definitely a horror element.
Right.
I won't tell. It's too cool of a reveal. I'm not going to tell
No.
you. But yeah, anyway, I'm recommending Canary. I think it's self-contained. There's no more to it. It's its own
Okay.
single thing. Again, recommended highly. If you have a local place, go there and pick it up.
Right.
Have them order it
Yeah,
for you.
I'm
Don't
gonna
get
have
it
to
from
go.
Amazon.
Oh, right. I'm gonna have to go next time I'm in Edwardsville.
Sure. I mean, you can borrow this when I'm done with it. I'll
I
bring it
know.
over.
I still want. If it's that good, I want the physical
We'll take
copy.
mine,
Yeah.
and then you'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you hate it.
No.
I don't think you will. It's really good. All right.
I would say you know what I like when it comes to comics.
I
So
think so. I
I
think I
may
got
not
you on this one.
agree on everything, but yeah, then that would definitely
Yep.
But speaking of two things, speaking of that reminded me talking about that comic. Um, one of the movies I saw, I rewatched Bone Tomahawk.
Well, it's always worth a rewatch,
So I mean,
except that one part.
going for what it's just a little uncomfortable.
I love the dialogue between, is it Richard Jenkins
Yeah,
and Kurt Russell? They're
yeah,
talking about the soup. He thought it was coffee, or the other way around.
yeah.
That's so. That alone is just. I could watch that. I could watch them in a room as those characters
Right.
all day.
Yeah.
They're both so good at what they're doing.
Oh, I know.
They're both top of the game, and it's this little movie that I think it's gotten some popularity, but a lot of people still have no idea.
Right, right. I mean, I've seen like here recently. What is it on now? But it was like on one of the streaming service top tens.
Yeah,
It's like, did you just see this movie?
because
I
people
mean,
don't
it's
know
been out
about it.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
funny.
and another thing is they are. I don't know if you ever watched it on Sci-Fi. There was a show called Winona Earp.
I know about it, but I didn't watch it,
It's kind of almost a Western version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
which is a cool idea.
which it was the last season. It kind of went a little too far on things. They were, I don't know what they, new writers or whatever. But
Sure.
anyway, it was canceled on Sci-Fi. Well, apparently they are making a movie, Winona Earp Vengeance, and it is going to be on Tubi soon.
Oh, that's fun.
So
That's cool. With the same people?
with all the same, just about all the returning cast,
Thank you, Tubi.
and
Tubi
it's
continues to
yeah,
just kick ass.
I know, right?
So
So, but
good.
that'll be on Tubi soon. I think they just finished most of the. It'll be before the end of the year. That'll
Cool.
be on.
That's cool.
But
Let's
yeah, it
cover it.
was kind of. I mean, so when it comes out, that's something we'll look. And they've only had some, you know, photos of it. There's no trailer or anything like that.
Okay.
So
Um, that reminds me of, speaking of sequels to things, the only movie I really have to talk about this week
okay,
is that so I bought I think it was Amazon Prime Day. There was like a
okay,
bunch of sales, so many things I
right,
wanted, but the only thing I
right,
picked up was the Universal box set, Universal Horror box set,
right, right,
which contains all the Universal Horror movies from the beginning till the original runs ended,
right.
right? So from like the 30s through the 50s. So
Okay,
I have all the Dracula from the original runs, have all the Frankenstein, I have all the Creature from the Black Lagoon, so forth, Wolfman, all that stuff.
right.
So I had never, okay, there's a movie called Dracula's Daughter. Have you seen Dracula's Daughter?
It's been forever and a day,
Sure.
but yes, I've seen it.
I had seen it on Svengoolie 10 years ago or more.
Yeah,
And I had only kind of halfway watched it. I think like we bailed halfway through because I was
right.
doing something else. Um, I hadn't really been paying attention. So we wanted to watch a movie. We watched it with the kid. And we had watched Dracula a couple weeks ago, and Zora was like, well, and she's reading. I picked up actually at our local comic place. Well, I say local, but Heroic Adventures in Edwardsville.
Oh,
Shout
so
outs. I
yes,
love that place.
yes.
Um, we picked up for Zora a manga version of Dracula. She only wants
Okay,
to read Japanese comics, right? So I was like, why don't you read something cool? But
okay.
they've translated it.
Sadly, everybody is pretty much only reading manga nowadays. The way the comic industry is going.
Not
But
me,
anyway,
baby.
continue.
Oh, yes. But so she only wants to read Japanese, comics. So
Right.
we went there and I found this, and it's like there's this series of adaptations of classic books as manga, right?
Nice.
So it's I found there were a few, but there was one that was Dracula.
Okay.
And so she's like reading the Dracula manga. And so I was like, well, do you want to watch more Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein? And she's like, let's go more Dracula. And so the next one in the line is Dracula's Daughter. And I didn't really realize that it's really interesting. It's a straight up sequel to Dracula.
Hmm.
Like I never really considered it that way, but it is
Yeah.
like, how do you do another Dracula movie? And it like literally starts at the end of Dracula. Like they've literally just staked Dracula,
It went
and
basically just right over.
it's literally so.
Okay.
So Van Helsing stakes Dracula, and then these two cops show up and arrest him. You just killed this guy, and there's Renfield's over here dead. What's going on in here? My only issue really is that they kind of forget that Harker and
Oh,
his Mina uh exist, you know?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
wait a minute. But they're not in the movie at all. But uh Van Helsing is basically has to prove his innocence to Scotland Yard.
Okay.
So it's like a fun, but he doesn't remain the main character, but he is a huge part of it. And he's the only returning actor,
Right.
is
Hmm.
the original guy.
Right.
They changed his name to Von Helsing. I, it doesn't make any sense because
No.
it's supposed to be, I mean, it's the same actor.
Right.
It's not like they didn't have the rights to Dracula. It
Yeah.
is Dracula. So I don't know. It's really weird. So, but anyway, the main plot is it's this woman shows up to retrieve the body of Dracula, and she is his daughter, and she basically she feels enslaved to the darkness, to the vampirism, all
Right.
that stuff, and she thinks now if she can destroy Dracula's body, she can become
Free
good
herself.
again. Right? She wants to free herself and become good and step into the light, basically.
Right.
It's a really interesting movie. It's not perfect, but I mean, it's from what year? 1936.
Right.
The lady that plays Dracula's daughter, I think, is a knockout. I think she's incredible. She makes the movie great, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, the art in the movie, she's like a painter, and
Okay.
like in the movie, you see little shots of like her art. I wish if anybody knows where to find these pieces that are in the movie, because
Right.
I might try to like Google Lens it or something and go through the
Yeah.
movie again, because some of these pieces that are on the wall that she supposedly painted are amazing. But
Hmm.
anyway, it's an interesting movie. It's basically her going back and forth, trying to get help from this doctor,
Right.
like cure me. You know, I'm still craving blood and all this stuff, but it's an interesting one.
Okay.
Now, I did peek in the next one in the line is the son of Dracula.
Okay.
And I think he's played by Boris Karloff.
Okay.
They're just cycling through.
Right.
Let me look up Son of Dracula. I could be wrong. I will give you a once we get there. Oh no, sorry, it's not Boris Karloff. It's Lon Chaney
Lon
Jr.
Chaney Jr. Oh, okay.
It's one of those
I mean,
dudes. I mean, it had to be
well,
one
let's
of
be
them.
honest. It's cycled through, four or
Yes,
five actors
it
there.
had to be
So
one of them.
yeah.
Um, it's got some decent ratings, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Right.
I do have something else to cover, unless you have whatever you have next. If you want to
Well, I
cover,
was just gonna. There's a couple things like going on. Like I said, I'm not even gonna get into this because I want to keep my blood pressure down. But Rings of Power season 2 did start.
I watched the first 40 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah.
I have to admit something to you.
Okay.
I like one thing about the show.
Okay. What's that?
I like Adar. I like the concept of Adar, and I like the scene when he puts the crown on
Yeah.
someone else.
Yeah.
Everything else, I've just been like,
Right.
I don't know. It's so not with the lore anymore.
No.
They want you. It seems like they want you to feel that this happens, and then like a year later, hobbits are running around picking up the ring. Like it's so
yeah.
backwards and not. It just isn't Lord of the Rings.
No, it's not. And it's like I said, there's so much lore breaking stuff. You know.
You're right. So I've kind of just let that go, and I'm just like, maybe
Like
there's
I
a.
said, I'm just like the sad thing is we've got more seasons because it's contractually required.
Hmm.
So they have to make these.
Well, they recast Adar because the dude quit,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was
And,
like, hold on, is this a different guy? Like it was so confusing. And then
right.
the way the time jumps happen,
Yeah.
you see, don't get me started because I think it's poorly constructed.
It's very
Truly.
poorly constructed. I mean, and then it's like you have 100, like, you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this.
Some of it looks
And
incredible. Some of it looks incredible.
But then you get to some things that look so goddamn cheap.
Oh, we have a guess. If you're ready.
All right.
You ready for this?
Let's go.
Should
We
we
may have a couple of words
should we do something weird, or should we just let him in? Like him sing happy birthday or something.
Yeah.
It's not his birthday.
You're muted, Shawn.
He's not here yet.
Oh.
Let him in.
Okay.
But well, you don't have to do anything. I'm speaking it to the void. Well, look, he'll pop up when he pops
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So anyway, Rings of Power. That's what we're talking about. The
Right.
Rings of Power.
And
I,
how can a character that's so beloved as Gladriel be so freaking despised and just hated in this show? I
well,
mean, to become from one to the other, and it. Anyway,
hello. You gotta speak. This is
Oh,
audio.
yeah, yeah. That's
can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Sean, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Yep.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Rings of Power. Have you watched the show at all?
I watched the very first episode, and that's it.
Okay,
I didn't think it was bad, but I am not where you guys are with that.
sure. Okay. We're not really
Oh no,
in love
we
with
think
it.
it's
So,
bad. So that's beside
um,
the point.
so
Although I did hear that there was a show called Rings of Garbage. I went to look that up the other day, and
The same
come to
show
find out
popped
that's
up.
just what's that?
The same show popped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't think it's like the world's worst show, but it's so frustrating that you have such beloved characters and things, and you're just doing weird, making weird choices and changing stuff for no reason. I don't know. It is weird. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even want to talk specifics, but
I'm
it's
not really.
I don't have the
Yeah.
energy.
No.
I'm gonna try to watch the rest like as a curiosity. And again, some of the actors are really good. Some of
Yeah.
the show looks great. Some of the show is incredibly good looking. It looks as good as a movie, but that doesn't mean it's good.
No.
You need more than that.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
and I think the biggest thing is dialogue and writing and character portrayals, not necessarily the actors themselves, but they're being told this is how you should act.
okay, there was the one line. Let
So
me just say this. There's the one line where it's like they say something about Sauron, and they use the line, "He is no man." We already did that in Lord of the Rings, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
they keep stealing lines
Why
from
are you
Peter
doing this?
Jackson, but didn't want Peter Jackson, shut him out from this.
Look, I'm not happy with him either. Go
No.
back to making puppet movies where the puppets are having sex and drinking and stuff.
Yeah, the Rohan movie, I'm the animated movie, I'm on the fence with.
The Riders of Rohan. Why wasn't Sean Connery in Lord of the Rings? Why did he say he didn't? Do you know this story that they wanted Sean Connery to be, I think, Saruman?
Yeah.
And he said he didn't. Oh, I don't get it. And instead, he did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, I thought it was Gandalf.
I think they wanted him for Saruman.
I thought okay. I thought they wanted him for Gandalf. I thought that's because I thought
Frodo
Lee was
Baggins.
always
Frodo Baggins. The Bagginses. Fool of a Took. It could work. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know if he would have been perfect as Saruman either. I mean, how do you beat Christopher Lee as an evil wizard? Can you?
Can't. I mean, and just the behind the scenes where he's telling Peter Jackson, that's not how someone sounds being stabbed in the back.
I know what it sounds like. That's the funniest story ever.
I know.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Right.
Well, look, we have Sean here for a specific reason, and we just finished talking about comic books. So I think now is a good time to start talking about comic books again.
Yes.
Can you guys hear the sirens? I have sirens going crazy right now.
I do not hear sirens.
I don't either.
Oh,
and
Zoom is
I'm
good at cutting out
2 blocks away from you.
Cutting out audio. So okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. Well, Sean's here to talk about something pretty cool.
Right.
Do you want to cover it, Sean, or do you want me to introduce you or whatever, or do you want to just go for it?
I mean, I just want to know. Well, okay, here. Let's do this.
Now, what is that?
This is my very own comic.
What?
Yeah, created by me, written by family member, friend, cousin, and that is my first published work. That's my first independently published comic. I know I gave you guys a copy. I wanted you guys to check it out,
Yep.
and I'm really wanting to know what you guys think, and want to know what kind of questions you guys have. Hit me with it.
Okay. I
'Cause
did read it.
I can talk as well. I mean, but I just, kind of more. I want to see
Right.
what you guys think before I get into any kind of talking about it.
Okay. Well, I know this is an idea that you guys have had for a long time. And first of all, it's amazing to see that it happened. You've been working on it for, can you give me an idea how many years?
Well, okay, so my comic universe, I've been working on probably for over 30 years now, in my head mostly, here and there with sketches. I haven't published anything. Went through a lot of you go through a lot of confidence issues, things like that. And finally 2020 hit. We were all inside. Well, most of us were inside for quite a bit of time, and I really started working on some things, really started trying to refine my artwork to where I thought it was comic worthy, let's say. And so again, I've been working on certain characters. This character is relatively new in my universe, so I would say 5-ish or so years, maybe. And I had the idea for the character. My challenge was always looking for a writer. I can write the stories. I have a lot of stories, but I wanted a partner. I wanted somebody to help. Ended up approaching my cousin who has a degree in film, and not working in the film industry currently, but he's like, I said, you want to write a story? And he's like, yeah, I like this character. I said, well, this is the basis of this character. You write the story you want to write, and we'll see if we can put it together. And that's what happened with this first issue. That the short end of what happened with this first issue. But yeah, I'd say this character's been around for 5-ish or so years in my head, maybe a little longer than that.
Awesome. And it's cool to hear that
Yeah.
this 30-year plan, this 30-year gestation period. The
Gestation,
the
much
chest
more gestation
burster
than
is
plan.
finally.
Right. Yeah.
I just watched Alien. Okay,
Yeah.
it's escaping. So
Yes.
yeah, I did read it. Chris, did you read your
Yeah.
copy?
Oh, yeah. I absolutely read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a good beginning. There's a lot of my honest opinion. You've got a lot of like expansion to do for the second one can go a lot further in his story. I like it a lot though. And I
Right,
think it
because
looks good. Yeah.
this first one's setting up this character,
Right.
but I know there's just from what you've posted and what you've shared with us, there are other characters that will be
Right.
there and other events that are going to happen.
Right.
So it is cool to know that this is like the first step into what could be a cool continuing story. So
Right.
I would say that this feels like, to me, it's like an early, what do I want to say? I mean, obviously, this is the introduction of a character.
Right.
So it's like, what's cool about it here is like, there's so much, kind of like what you're saying, Chris, there's so much room to build and so
Right.
many places you could go.
Right.
You kind of have like an open playing field right now. So it's neat that we've set up the basics. And yeah, like really, after reading the first issue, my only question is like, when is the next one? And I know that's a huge question and
Right.
you don't have an answer probably, but you know, can we expect
So,
more anytime soon?
I am hoping, I am hoping. So, let me first say that yes, I want this to be able to be an ongoing story. Will I be able to do everything? Maybe not. I have bigger goals. I have huge goals, but with this story, what I told him I wanted to do was to make a 4 to 5 part series, intro series, like mini series,
Mhm.
that could then be later put into a trade paperback, something along those lines.
Those are what I
As,
prefer, by the way. So that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you on that. Most comics that I've been reading lately, that's how I do it. But yes, awesome,
Have you read
awesome.
that? Have you read that?
I have not. I have not.
I'm begging you to read this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
All right, I will have to put that on the list and check it out because honestly, I've been working so much on doing my thing. I haven't read a lot of comics.
Sure. I totally
Um,
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
but yes, so what I would like to do is set up any comic that I'm working on, set it up to do maybe a 4 part quote unquote mini series,
Hmm.
and then possibly transition it into a full-on series if that's the way that it works. If not, we'll see what happens. I am not Jack Kirby by any means, so I cannot produce 60 pages a day or whatever his
Whatever that
It's
insane
is.
pace is.
insane. Yes.
I mean, the man was unbelievable, but that's another story. So yes, issue 2. I am hoping that I can maybe get issue 2 out by next year. That would be a that would be awesome if I can do that. The draft for issue 2 is basically written. There's some modifications we're making because, again, with this character, there's a few directions we can go, and the way my cousin has been working on the story. But the draft for that is written. I have a lot of thumbnails done. I have some pages and various stages of work that's happening with issue 2. The draft for issue 3 has been kind of hammered out. He's still working on some things for that, and trying to think of how we can move this story to the point where we want it to go. Because with all these intro issues, which I'm building and hoping to move towards an in-game style series here with the certain characters that I have in my universe. I have a draft for a Midori Red, which is another comic that I have. The first draft is written for that, and so that'll be in there somewhere along the lines with this one. I have a first draft written for another character, Tasmanian Devil, that I do. I'd say that one's about half done, and I'm writing that. It's a very basic, kind of generic superhero origin story for that character. And so, but again, my whole goal with this is to create comics that feel like they're kind of 99 comics. That's kind of my company. That's kind of my idea. I want them to feel like comics from that era, the late 80s to the late 90s. I
Sure.
like that feel. I like that style and look of comics. I love the artwork that's being done in comics now. I love that it's so broad. I love that some of it looks like paintings, but I always gravitate back towards the older 90s era comics with the bright colors, which I hope you guys kind of picked up on that. Um, the other thing, again, and stop me if you want to ask questions or anything throughout, but
Okay.
the other thing is my universe starts in 99. The whole premise, I don't know, can't remember how much of that is in this comic and how much you guys may have picked up on, but my whole universe starts in 99, and it starts with an event that basically on a single day in 1999, no one dies. Anyone who anyone who was supposed to die, anyone who suffers a tragedy, a traumatic event, and basically should die, as long as within that 24-hour period, they are helped in some way, helped, let's do those quotes, helped in some way. Your head is removed and it's stuck back on your body, and you wrap it up, you live, you develop some sort of active ability, superpower. So, um, it can be a darker twist on characters, and that's kind of what I like. I like kind of walking that line between hero and horror. It's fun.
All I can think of is a bunch of like nursing home superheroes now.
That
That'll have to be
I
addressed.
had
You'll have to
I
address
have
that.
I have thought of that actually. Like the geriatric guardians or something along those lines. But
There's
anyway,
gonna be
uh,
something. It has to be
um,
addressed.
but
Medicare
yeah,
militia.
absolutely, and
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the ideas come from that a tragic event. So this character in particular, you see part of you don't see how he becomes who he is. You don't see how he becomes the Recluse. But what you see in the comic is the tragic event that happens to his love. And so that's kind of the story that my cousin is writing. But the other thing that's interesting about this character, and I touch on it and we touch on it in the story. I should say we touch on it in the story, is that he has attributes of a spider. He's my kind of bad guy Spider-Man in a way. Can I say that? Don't sue us.
Yes.
Anyway, he's my
I
bad
mean,
guy.
you
Bad
can't
guy.
you can't look at this character called the Recluse, a man with the powers of a spider, and not think about Spider-Man. I mean,
Right. I
it's
mean,
fine. It's gonna
Well,
happen.
yeah, exactly, and it's meant to be. It's interesting because Spider-Man is a beloved character. I love that character. He's a great character, and he always tries to make. What I love about Spider-Man is the Spider-Man, and he always tries to make the right decision and it always backfires on him. And and I think that's why he's so lovable. The difference with this character is he doesn't always try to make the right decision.
The full
He
opposite. He
is,
makes the bad decision and it just works out.
yeah, in a way, yeah. At least that's what I kind of like about him. But he's angry. He's upset. He is not a healthy individual. The other thing is he is driven by a hunger because little information on brown recluses. If you look up the brown recluse spider, which is where I took a lot of information for this character, obviously, um, because they're a dangerous spider in the area that we live in. They only need to eat roughly every 6 months. And so I thought, how can I twist that? Because he has that quote unquote DNA, whatever, amplified. So I made him more vampiristic. He has to consume a human being once a year. If he doesn't do that, he is driven by a hunger that he can't control after a certain point, and he will just kill and consume a human being. That's part of what is hard for him. That is one of the battles that he has to fight, which also twists him and makes him a little bit bad guyish.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
I
mentioned
think
that.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
Chris.
I was just gonna say, I mean, from the first issue, it kind of, he definitely falls in that anti-hero kind of, if you really want to kind of put him in kind of in a column, the anti-hero. And also the one thing, we have talked long time before you even started this book, talking about like the event of your universe. I know you were a big fan of the Star Brand universe, and
Absolutely.
I see a lot of similarities. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You mean the tragic event that happens in 1999? I have a guess at what it is. I think, and this is just my guess, but I think it's the release of the Limp Bizkit album "Significant Other." I think that's what makes the world go crazy. I don't look. I don't want to know if it's right. I don't want to know if it's right.
Spoiler free
Don't
show,
tell me.
DK. Spoiler free show. Come on.
All right. Sorry. How can people read this?
Well, currently, so currently they can only read it if they get a copy from me, which is difficult because I have very few copies left. My initial, another couple other things about my company, universe, whatever, 99 Comics. So what I decided to do was, I don't know why. My whole goal was to be able to sell 25 issues. I put it out on Facebook. I said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do this comic. Anybody want to pre-order it? If you pre-order it, it comes with an exclusive cover. I'll number each one and I'll sign it myself, and the writer will sign it. So you'll have an exclusive cover. Blah blah blah, all that kind of cool stuff." And then it occurred to me, because I actually got a lot more people that were interested than I thought. I want to say 50, 60 people wanted issues of it, or in that range. And so I started thinking about it because, my whole goal was to get enough to run a single print, which is what you guys have, which is what I showed. But anyway, and then I thought, why don't I do it like this? Why don't I make it even more my universe? So, what I decided to do is anytime I do a first printing, I will self-publish it. I'll send it to the printing company that I used. I feel like they did a great job. The only mistakes I can see in the book itself are actually mistakes that I made, which I'm not perfect. But anyway, but I thought, why don't I do it this way? I'll do 99 copies. The first print of every book that I do will be 99 copies only, unless they mess up, which that's a story in itself. But it'll have an exclusive cover. They'll be numbered and they'll be signed by the artist and the writer or whoever works on the book in that form.
That's cool.
So currently, yeah. So kind of building in the whole idea of having a collector's. If you want that book, you want that cover, you've got to get in on that first 99 pre-order. That being said, my plans so far, and I've got to do a little bit more work on this because I'm not as tech savvy as I would like to be. But my plan is to actually put it on either Kindle Direct or make it available through Amazon. Now, if I do that, of course, the cover that you guys see, the cover that I showed, whoever's watching on YouTube or whatever, that will not be the available cover. The only way to get the cover that is on that you guys have, the one that I showed, is directly through me. And I want to say maybe when it's all said and done, I will have 30-ish of those left here.
Do you have some kind of
up.
order form or like a site where people can go?
I have nothing at all. You have to contact me directly. You could contact me through my Instagram page, the_99comics. Or I would say if anyone is interested and they can contact you guys through the show, you guys can let me know. I really had hoped to have it. I really had hoped to have it available on KDP Kindle Direct by now. I actually kind of worked on that, but again, I had some tech hangups, so I wasn't able to do that because I've got to format everything and put it through their system, and the stuff that I'm working with, I haven't been able to do that. This comic was done 100%. At least the finished product was done 100% on an iPad with Procreate. Amazing program, and that is one of the things that made this comic possible.
Sure. Okay. Well, let us know if that changes, if we can get a link for people, or if we can, get it on Amazon, whatever. Let us know, please.
And we'll definitely have the link to your Instagram page for anybody that wants to get one of those last couple of copies that you have left. So
yep, I'll stick that in the show notes if anyone's interested, for sure.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, it's worth checking out. And if you want to get in on a new little, an interesting comic that our buddy Shawn is, by the way, you've been on the show. This is what, 4th time? I don't know. You've been on a bunch of times.
4th or 5th, yep.
Had some great episodes. I always think about the Star Wars episode because there was there was this issue where in the editing where I would use the same project file, and there was this phantom audio of Shawn talking about how hyperspace travel definitely works. And it was like a 20-second little snippet of him talking about how he thinks it works. And I would hear it week after week when I was editing this show, because I'd have to delete it every time, but it would play. Oh boy. So anyway, yeah, well, we're glad you're here, Shawn, and thanks for telling us about this, and congrats on getting it done. You did it. What a huge thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I have bigger dreams. Hopefully I'm able to get some of that working. I would love to get big enough that I could bring on more writers, more artists, more people to work with this, because again, I have some I think cool ideas, and hopefully other people think so as well. I've gotten some pretty good reviews from the comic itself. I have my fun job, my second job. I bartend at a movie theater, which is a great fun job. And I've got a lot of younger people there, and I've let a decent amount of them have either picked up the comic from me or read it and given me reviews. And nothing better than when a 20-something reads your comic and goes, "Dude, this is sick." That makes you feel really good. So.
Sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't believe me, I feel your pain with, I'm still working on, I've been adding pages here and there on mine, and
Chris, don't get me started. I've been pushing you on this.
Hey, I'm up to like 35 pages, so
do it.
I know, but I have a particular style in mind, and trying to not break the bank on someone that can create that particular style is difficult. So I have to start scouring the art schools for starving college kids.
It's not easy, and that's where like a mutual friend of Chris and mine's had told me before, because I had asked him multiple times to write for me. Would you write this story? And that was one of my biggest hangups.
Right.
I finally had to realize I have to do this. If I don't do this, no one else is going to be there to help me. And when I finally started doing it, that's when somebody and people started being like, oh, like when my cousin, he's like, maybe I would like to write something for you, because he had seen basically, and I had shown you guys this. Nobody else has seen. Well, a few other people have seen that, but the comic that was the predecessor to this that I have on my iPad, that was never published or anything like that, and it made go to publishing, but it was multiple stories of a handful of different characters,
Mhm.
which will appear throughout.
The news
But,
one, the news one, the newscaster.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I won't
that
spoil
one.
anything, but I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
good. I appreciate that. How do they do that? What's that little heart thing? There you go.
I don't know. Isn't it like this? I don't. How does
It could
Deadpool
be
do
like
it?
that.
I don't
There's
know.
like
lots of
that.
different.
There
Oh,
you
here.
go, there
I
you
don't
go.
know.
Yeah.
I can't do
Look, it's a bird.
it.
But yeah, you just have to do it, and that's where the mutual friend that Chris and I have told me one time, he's like, I won't write for you, I won't write stories for you. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, because you've had these characters in your head for 30 years, and I don't want to screw it up. He's like, I would let you down, and I'm like, well, why don't? Okay, okay, but so do it, Chris. What are you doing? Do it.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it. Like I said, it's trying to find. I don't have enough confidence in my art to do that page after page after page.
You got to start somewhere.
I know. So
What I learned is, so this is what I did.
okay.
I went back and looked at some of Rob Liefeld's artwork and went, you know what? This dude's made $1 million or more in this industry.
Just look
And
at
he
his stuff.
can't-
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He can't
I
draw
get
feet.
it. I get it.
And so, trust me, there's pages in there where I look at them now and I'm like, yeah, I could have done something better with that. But again, I go back and I look at some of the comics that we used to read that we, romanticized so much that you look at them and you're like, it wasn't that good. There were times, even with some of the greatest comic book artists out there, you look at them and you're like, well, they weren't having the best day when they did that.
Right.
But so
That's what I
Well,
found
I
with
agree,
creative
I
stuff.
agree.
When
Yeah.
I'm creating anything, usually for me it's music, but like the hangups that I have and the little things that I forever will hear and be enraged by, I play the track for someone else and they go, I didn't even notice that. What are you talking about?
We are all our own worst critic.
And it's the
I
same
get
with
that.
it's
I
the
get
same
it.
with this
Yeah.
art. Yeah. So, I don't think you need to. The best advice I have for anyone, and look, I'm not like an expert here. I've put out some music here and there, but whatever.
Your music is in a movie. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. All right. You have to just do it. You just do it,
I know.
and you'll do your best along the way, and you'll do what you can. But like, the best way to make it happen is to just do it. Even if what you're starting with sucks,
Yeah.
start it. Get it started, get the ball rolling, and it'll happen. That's the only way it's going to happen. You're not going to wake up one day and like, oh, there's that thing I wanted to do. There it is. It's done. I did a great job. You have to put the time in and do it, or it's not going to happen.
Right.
Don't sit around and talk about it and tell everyone you're going to do it. I hate this. I'm like, for me, in a lot of my circles, it's like, yeah, I'm starting a new band up. And then I never hear anything. And it's like, that person has said that to me 6 times over the years. And it's like,
right.
Where is it?
And I feel that way about myself, but I started back in it, I'll do a page, maybe a page and a half a page, whatever, comes to mind. So yeah, it's a slow process. And these guys, even shitty stories, these people that are just cranking out.
Because it's what they do all day, every day.
Right.
Now maybe you have slightly more time now, maybe
I was
a little.
Say, I have more time now, so that's one of the things.
Fill the void with art.
Yes.
That's what it's for.
I've got some stuff in my mind that I'm going to start working on now that things are kind of a little slower. So,
please do it.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Absolutely agree.
Well, yeah, people should absolutely check out that comic, Recluse. Is it just called The Recluse? Recluse?
The title is just Recluse. Okay. That's it. You can call him The Recluse, but the actual title is just Recluse.
Recluse. So. Okay. People need to check that out. And again, follow that Instagram for Shawn. If nothing else, even if you're not going to buy the damn thing, why don't you follow Shawn on Instagram?
Right.
Please. Isn't it just the 99 Comics?
The underscore 99 Comics.
Yep.
Please follow Shawn.
Yeah.
Like his things, and maybe consider sending him a message and buying that comic.
Yep.
There's only a few left.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I will definitely get you guys information for when for when I have it available in other formats and other ways to purchase.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Sweet, sweet.
Perfect.
I only have one. Well, we have one thing to do. We have that trailer to look at.
Right.
Sean, would you like to be involved in a trailer reaction video?
Sure.
Hey, hold on.
Oh,
I have one
I
other
will.
thing, and it reminded me talking about when we were talking about the event and having a nursing home, you know,
yeah.
Avengers. There's a new show that the Duffer Brothers are working on, which if you don't remember who the Duffer Brothers are, they're
Stranger
the ones
Things?
Stranger Things, yeah. It has Alfred Molina and Gina Davis in it,
Oh,
and it basically is like this retirement community that has something going on in it that is like stealing the last few years of people's lives. And it's almost like the Stranger Things retirement home version.
interesting.
And I just thought, I'm like,
That's a fun.
with those two actors, I'm like, that may be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Anyway,
So it's something that I thought of with that coming up. So, oh, and we haven't really talked about video games, but I know DK you would be super interested in the Dead by Daylight.
the new one from them.
Yes,
It's like a spin-off game.
it is a spin-off game.
I've heard it's good, but I haven't checked
but
it out.
they have a new mod,
What's the mod?
Castlevania.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
So I thought that would be something for you to look up.
I found out there's this game called, I think it's called Horror Legends. It's on Steam. It's only for PC.
Right,
And you know how I was obsessed with the Subspecies movies?
right.
They have a Subspecies DLC where you can run around as Radu.
Oh my god.
Sean, have you seen the Subspecies movies?
I have not. I have not.
You're
I was-
missing out.
So this is something I was going to do since I hadn't talked to you guys in a while, and I know
Okay.
your big month is coming up.
Yes.
I was going to say, I want to attempt this, and I don't know if this will be possible for me, but I was going to say I want you guys, you two, if you could take a few minutes or more, and come together with a list of movies, must watches for me for the October season.
Must watch. Well, I don't think I could legally put Subspecies on that list.
Must watch horror movies, let's say.
Well,
that way.
but I need to know, what is your intention? Do you want to be scared? Do you want to have fun? Do you like shitty movies?
I just want to broaden. I just want to broaden my
okay.
my horror movie. So, like I told you guys when we did the one scary show that I'm kind of a big baby. I like more of the thriller stuff. But I also have a young man living in my house that is, he's my kid, and he's been way into the horror movies. So, as dad, I got to be a little braver and a little tougher. And I'm not necessarily gonna, watch all of these movies with him, but I want to get a broader spectrum.
Just so I know, what's his age?
He's 12.
Okay. Well, that kind of changes what I'm going to recommend a little bit, I think. Okay.
But
I'll keep that in mind.
Make recommendations for dad only. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Have you seen Phantasm?
I have not seen. I've seen the original. I have seen that so long ago.
Okay, just
and
wondering.
I'm okay with that. Anything rewatches, I'm totally cool with, because I haven't seen stuff in so long. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, we can do a list.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. 5 from each of us, maybe?
Sure. Now, mind you, I won't put the new Piglet slasher from Pooh, Blood, and Honey on that list. But
the way you said that, it's like a list. Pooh, comma, blood, comma, and honey. I don't like that combination.
This is the third movie in that whole thing.
I haven't seen any of them.
It's a Piglet spinoff.
People keep asking me, like, "Oh, have you seen that?" No, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I know.
I remember when that was
trauma
on the
movies
theater.
are better. Yeah.
Can't believe they had to.
Yeah. They have a Mickey Mouse one too. Not from these guys, but another horror movie.
Well, Sean, working at a theater, I don't know if you've felt this or whatever, but I felt that this year has been excellent for horror.
It has. and I'm hoping it continues because, again, working at a theater and bartending at a theater, that's how I make my money,
Yeah.
my extra money, my play money.
Sure.
But yeah, it's, yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And I can say, I don't know how much I consider this horror, but Beetlejuice has been crushing it.
I'm sure it has. The nostalgia factor is very,
Yeah.
very high.
It,
I haven't
yeah,
seen it yet. I was hoping to see it today, maybe, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But
Okay, I will give my non-spoiler.
before you say anything,
okay,
let me tell
I'm
you
not going to
this.
say anything. Oh,
My expectations are honestly low. They're very
Yeah.
low. So I'm not going in expecting to be blown away. It's not going to be scary. The original's not scary.
No.
It's a fun, funny, quirky thing, right?
Right.
So as long as we get some, I mean, number one with a bullet, I want to see Michael Keaton with some fun, memorable lines. Number two, I want to see the ladies of Beetlejuice being quirky and memorable and some interesting scenes. And then three, Willem Dafoe's in there, right? Maybe
Monica
some weird.
Bellucci.
So yeah. Oh, I would like to see some fun, like afterlife-y visual things, the sandworms and all that stuff. Just a little like, hey, remember Beetlejuice? I'll just take a little bit of that. That's fine. I don't have high expectations though. I don't think it's going to be my movie of the year.
No.
So what were you going to say?
Okay, with that being said, I was going to say I was slightly disappointed, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's...
See,
And the
I
other
have not
thing
heard of. Oh, go ahead.
I was
I was
only saying...
Guys,
Go
just
ahead.
get married
We've known
already.
each other
God
too
damn.
long. Okay, I'm going to say this real fast. My biggest disappointment that I wanted more Michael Keaton in it.
That's how the original is.
I know.
He's only in the movie for 10 minutes or whatever in the original one. 12 minutes or something, isn't it?
No, he's a little longer than that, but...
Hold on, I'm going to ask... I always say Siri, but it's not. I have a Google phone.
20.
How long is Michael Keaton on screen in the original Beetlejuice?
According to Screen Rant, in Tim Burton's original 1988 movie, the titular character only has 17 minutes of screen time.
17.
Okay.
If we can keep it to 20 minutes, that's enough for me.
It's about the same, but I wish, just because of his acting, and I mean, he doesn't really have a step off from the original to this one.
He's still an insane person in real life.
Yeah. I mean, I could have done a good 35, 40 minutes of him.
Yeah, that ruins
with
it.
Some of the changes.
You can't.
No. With some of the changes to, like, I don't want to say the character because it's not, but his circumstances, it could have, it's about an hour and a half movie. It could have gone about 30, 35 minutes instead of about the 20 that he was.
Okay.
So
fair.
See, I was going to say, I have not heard a bad thing about it. Now, granted, again, I'm a bartender at the movie theater, and so I'm getting people coming in before shows, after shows sometimes, and for drinks. And what I can say is I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about it. Most people I've talked to have loved it. And what I know is that, one of the biggest movies that we had was Deadpool and Wolverine.
right.
Sure.
And I've been doing numbers with this movie on opening weekend close to what I did with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, Shawn, if you're doing your job correctly, everyone loves every movie they see.
Of course they do.
Everyone's having a good time, regardless.
Right. Well, I heard that it's hitting about 100 million for the weekend, for that first weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Well, we have this trailer to react to, or to whatever. I've already technically seen it, but I want to watch it with you guys and see how we feel.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to share sound. Can everyone see that black screen?
Yep.
This is the Wolfman teaser trailer. Shawn, have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay. This is from the same director as that last Invisible Man reboot, which I liked. I have actually rewatched a couple times. So I have no reason to doubt that this will be a fun movie. So let's take a look at the Wolfman. Oh, I love that. First of all, this is bullshit. That's not a wolf. That's a bug.
It's not a man
No.
either.
No, this is
What the hell?
we're double getting ripped off.
Right.
Uh-oh.
What was that thing, Blake?
It sounded like an animal.
This movie's already terrifying. It takes
Right.
place in Oregon.
Yeah.
We have a shot here of what looks like a wolf man of some kind.
Well, it looks like it's not Portland, so they'll probably be okay for a little while.
You're right. Okay, we're doing the Alien, John Carpenter's The Thing
Right.
logo reveal. Very cool.
The shot with the swing and then this right here is giving me like why am I drawing a blank on the name? Mel Gibson, M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Signs.
Signs.
Yeah.
Just the
I see that.
visuals of it. The visuals of it.
Do you think Mel Gibson's running around this house yelling, "I am insane with anger"?
I mean, he does have the big beard for the Wolfman. So.
That's true. He's the wolf man.
But I swear to God, it was standing on
Meat!
2 feet.
Daddy, are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
What's wrong with
You know that this is the same director as Upgrade and Invisible Man from
Right.
this shot right here.
Yes.
The tilting angle.
Right.
That's like his signature thing, which I don't hate it. No one
No.
else is really doing it.
Especially,
It's like,
well, especially if it's set perfectly with the scene that it's in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That
it's an interesting choice, and it's like a weird, you think of other directors that have things like that, like the Raimi cam and all those
Right.
types of things or whatever.
Tim
But
Burton kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that's
It's
I think it's
aggressive.
cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
45-degree angle.
what's wrong with Daddy?
He got sick.
Please, Dad, you're scaring me!
Now this is the mom, or the mom in this. Isn't she in? Was in the Ozark? Is that the same?
I never watched it. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
good show by the way. Jason Bateman.
I like the knife grab in the next shot.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's pretty badass.
That hurts.
What's that?
That hurts. That grabbing the knife hurts. That
Oh,
just
you're the expert.
hurts.
You're the
Yeah,
knife and swordsman.
kids
Any advice?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Not to do that. Okay. Do we think this is just from the outfits and stuff, do we think this is a period movie?
I don't know. I
Because
mean,
if-
it kind of looks like that late 70s, early 80s.
The outfits,
Kinda.
yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I guess we should probably look. Like
Go
there's
to
the,
that cityscape. That cityscape scene.
yeah, that's where we
they're
should
walking
go.
through the city. Yeah, it's coming up right there.
That tells me
I
nothing.
don't know.
Look at his outfit. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
70s
yeah.
dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the people with the guy with the suit behind them, and the girl with the brown jacket.
Huh.
And then even in the corner, you see the old style trench coat.
Yeah, look at this
Yeah.
color, this orange.
Right.
It just feels
Yeah.
70s, like browns
Late
and orange.
70s, early
Yeah.
80s, kind of. Yeah.
Which I like that idea. I don't know if that's what this is,
Right.
but like even this cute little kid's outfit feels sort of old school. It doesn't feel like a
Yeah.
modern onesie
Like I
that
said,
would be.
it's definitely hitting like that time period vibes.
Yeah. And look at the interior here. We have the wood
Right, the wood
paneling.
paneling.
Oh, that's way 70s. Yeah.
I think so. And look at her outfit.
Yeah.
I think this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have a cell phone.
Right.
But let's get cell phone. All movies should just take place in the 70s and 80s. It's no more cell phones. Anyway, let's go.
What's wrong with Daddy?
Hold on. I just put this together. This is supposed to be the moon, isn't it?
Yes.
God damn it. I'm an
Mhm.
idiot. And this here is a tooth.
Yeah. This here's a ring. Yeah, there's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got sick.
Please, Dad, you're scaring me!
Blake, stop!
Notice this. There's a space here. Or maybe it's so the F could be.
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Even in the title here, though, look up here in the bottom, on the top left, it says Wolf Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a theory. Hold on, let's finish this, but I have a theory.
Daddy, is that you?
I have a theory about this. Let me go back to this scene and I'll
What's
tell
wrong
you.
with Daddy?
So you see him here, the father, clearly afflicted by something.
He got sick.
Please, Daddy, you're scaring me.
She's saying, please, Daddy, you're scaring me. But now look, this is the father, right?
Right.
Someone's being pulled away from the vehicle, presumably the wife.
Well, I
That
think
implies-
it may be something. I don't think that's the wife.
Well, who do you think it is, Chris?
It could be somebody before he changes how he got the scratches. That somebody ran up to the car, help me, and then got dragged
Interesting.
away.
Interesting. Could be.
That's
Because
true.
he doesn't look like he's, because this looks like the same outfit. Like when you see him sitting at the table.
Well, my
it's like
question
the
is,
same shirt when he has the scratches on his arms.
my theory is it maybe that we're supposed to think that it's him, or maybe he is transforming as the movie goes and you think it's him, but really there's another guy.
Well, if you
doing
remember
this.
the original movie, he gets,
The first thing that
scratched in the-
happens is that he gets
yeah.
scratched by a werewolf.
So that's what I'm thinking. He's like at a stop sign or in the middle. Somebody's in the middle of the road.
That's the worst.
And
You stopped at a stop sign.
She's help me.
A werewolf comes up and scratches
Yeah.
your arm. You got your arm out the window. You're listening to Leonard Skinner. God, that's the worst.
In Oregon.
Yeah,
The problem is Oregon.
right.
Anyway, I'm into this. I think it looks cool. Any thoughts from you guys?
It'll be interesting to see. They did have, what was it? I saw that
Don't bring this up.
the bad Wolfman thing.
That's not what this is. That's like a Halloween costume.
No, I think it looks good from what I can tell.
Right.
When's the last time we got to go to the theater to see a cool werewolf movie? Like literally, when was the last time?
When
It wasn't Wolfman with Benicio.
No,
Sorry,
No.
didn't enjoy that one.
When was American Werewolf in Paris?
Oh, shut up! No, Cursed. I think of Cursed, but that's
Cursed,
another
yeah.
not a good movie.
No. American Werewolf in London was
Silver
probably
Bullet?
about- Yeah, Silver Bullet.
I
but
think
Silver
Silver
Bullet.
Bullet is my personal favorite werewolf movie, but I mean, American Werewolf in London is a classic as well.
Yeah.
I like Dog Soldiers, but not as much as Silver Bullet.
Mm-mm.
Any other cool werewolf movies other than Wolfman?
The Howling.
Oh yeah, I love The Howling, and I love even
Monster
more
Squad?
The Howling 2. Your sister is a werewolf.
Yeah.
That's the title of the movie, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
And Christopher Lee says, "Your sister is a werewolf," and he has these sunglasses that are like this. It's crazy.
Monster
goes to, like, a
Squad,
club.
That was a good werewolf.
Yes. I like that. Monster Squad is fun, but that's not just a werewolf movie. It doesn't count.
No.
Disqualified, Chris.
I know. But we know he has nards now, so.
Wolfman's got nards.
Yep.
That's the only thing I do know for sure. I know very little, but I do know that Wolfman's got
Wolfman
nards.
and nards.
Well, okay, I have one thing I want to close with.
Okay.
And this is just one of those things where it's too big of a, I don't know what to say here. Let me just pull this up. So are you guys, I'm sure you know them, but are either of you fans of the band Typo Negative?
Not really fan, I would say, but
Yeah, I wouldn't say huge fan, but
Well, you guys are making me
No.
very sad, extremely sad. So thank you. I'm going to cry.
remember we got some years on you.
Yeah, but these got typos from the late 80s. Calm down.
Use that sadness to create. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing this for.
All right. All right. So, for me, Typo Negative is one of those, Peter Steele, the vocalist, died in 2009, 10, something like that.
Mhm.
We never got more music. They should still be going. They should have had so many more records. To me, they're a very, very special band. They are deeply important. it's hard to explain, but they are a band that I listen to in the fall. I just won't listen to them any other time.
Right.
You know, they have some albums that are, they even leaned into that. You know, they have an album, October Rust.
Right.
They have a song, September Sun. You know, they're more of a fall thing for me. And they're sort of like goth rock. I mean, you could put them with Danzig or whatever. But
Pumpkin Spice and Typo Negative.
they don't have that. Well, although, oh, I thought you meant that was the song. That would be great. They famously have an album cover that's Peter Steele's asshole. You know, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, so they haven't had music forever because they don't exist anymore.
Right.
Because Pete Steele is like an irreplaceable voice, if you ask me. He's just amazing, right? And so this song and this album, or this band popped up called the Neon Nightmare. And I listened to it. It was recommended to me. And I don't know this for sure because I don't think anything's been officially said, but it truly sounds like maybe some of the surviving members are back at it. It's not called Typo Negative, but one of the voices and the guitar playing, it's like, I don't think it could be anyone else. And so I just wanted to kind of go through this track because like this has been my soundtrack for the last, I don't know how long now, since this came out.
Right.
And I am deeply loving this song. Now the vocals they're not as good as Pete Steele. It's just not possible, right? But I just want to go over this track just a little bit. It's called Lost Silver. This is the video. It even looks like the Love You to Death. It sounds like Love You to Death. Guys. It's this
honestly
like
reminds
90s...
me of some of the Ozzy Osbourne videos.
Oh yeah,
from
for sure.
Like Bark at the Moon and
for sure.
So yeah, I can see that.
Now this, and I think it has that like 80s 90s music video look, right, for sure. And it feels like a Typo video for sure. Like again, Love You to Death video is, if you guys don't know the song Love You to Death, it's like if you want to hear some goth rock, even doing a little bit of a Peter Steele voice. He wants to touch the flower, but she doesn't touch the flower. Guys, come on. Do you guys know the song Love You to Death? You guys are making me so sad.
I'm sorry.
They could have been on it's like the kind of thing that could have been on like the Crow soundtrack. Right. It totally fits into that time period.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. We're looking at like early 90s, mid 90s type rock, goth rock stuff. There's one part. He's doing the Peter Steele voice. Yeah. That banana guitar, Typo. She likes these mannequins and she likes these cards a lot. That. Holy shit. So in Typo, they would have Peter Steele singing, but then the other guy, I think his name is Kenny. He would also sing, and I'm 99% sure that that's actually him on this.
Okay.
One more thing, one more little part.
Go for it.
This is the most replayed part, and I think this is the part that I made note of. There's no mistaking that guitar. I wish you guys knew Typo Negative. This is making me so sad. Anyway,
I will listen to Typo Negative.
Yeah, I will listen.
I will.
Please do. I'll send you guys.
I like that. That was really good. I enjoyed that. I will put that down too. Neon Nightmare.
Neon Nightmare, and this is the only song that I'm aware of. So
Okay.
You know, it's only been out for a month, and anyway, there's a whole deep lore of Typo Negative, and they're incredible. And you guys would probably like them if you gave them a listen. Chris, I know
Yeah.
you like some of that Danzig stuff that
Yeah.
kind of is in that same
Right.
range. If you guys listen to October Rust, I think that's probably the best place to start for you with Typo.
Okay.
October
Okay.
Rust. It'll put you in the mood for fall, if nothing else. Or just find the song "Love You to Death," and you'll hear why I'm so excited about Neon
This
Nightmare.
one. Okay.
God, it's like huge, right? Because it was when we lost Peter, it was one of those things where I'm like, well, that's gone forever, and I'm so sad. And now there's like a
Well,
little bit of
You know what?
this
This kind of
bonus
leads
Typo.
into I know we'll go a little longer, but this leads into another discussion of another band that just came out with a song and has a new singer.
Linkin
I
Park.
think- yes.
I don't like the new song at all.
I'm okay with the new song.
I think the
with
song is
with
boring. It's not well written. It's
No,
not well produced.
no, but let me finish.
Okay.
And compared to with her voice singing the new song is way better than them trying to do the old songs and her doing Chester Bennington's parts.
That's going to be the way with any new singer, I think.
But
That's not
we're
a surprise.
talking right now. No, I know that. I understand that. But I personally, it's like, in my opinion, that's like Queen with Adam Lambert. It shouldn't happen.
Sure.
I mean, at this point in time, it should, no one should touch. There's certain voices and certain things that I think if something like per se tragic like this happens,
This is exactly the Typo
You sh-
Negative thing.
that's what I'm saying.
That's why
but
they're
the-
not
but the
continuing
Typo-
with. They could never be Typo Negative again without Peter Steele. You
Well, that's what I'm
cannot
saying.
have it,
And
and it would be
that's where I was-
disrespectful. Yes,
and
just like
that's
the
why
Crow
I think
movie,
This is,
which I did not
Yes,
see.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
I and that, like I said, if they wanted to go in another direction and even per se use the Linkin Park name, but do not touch your old songs again.
well, I understand playing them live. You have to. You have to play them live.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Don't re-record them and try to replace them in history. You
Well,
can't. Don't.
and-
That's the ultimate no. I think.
And even
But playing them
live,
live,
I
you
just-
must. I think that's no. You should at least play a few. You're going to play Crawling. You can't go. You can't go to a Tool show and then not play Sober. You can't go. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to hear these songs. If you paid money to see Linkin Park, you want to hear those songs. You want to hear in the end. That's what it is.
But the thing is me personally, if you're gonna do that and you want to hear the song, you play Chester's voice track.
That's a discussion to be had.
She can sing maybe harmony on some of the spots, but you play Chester's voice track.
And I did notice, I watched the clip of her doing some, I think it was Crawling. She's trying to do that Chester voice, and it's like it's close, but it's just like I don't really have any issue with her. I know there's this whole Scientology thing. I don't care.
Oh,
I really don't care. It's just one of those things where I don't think the new song is good, and I have no hope. Although I also need to tell you that I haven't cared about them since Hybrid Theory. So,
I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, and I think, like I said, I'm a huge Queen fan, and I have not listened to a Queen song that had Adam Lambert singing on it since the first time they introduced him and heard him singing. So
Sure.
once I actually heard it, I'm like, nope, I'm done.
Sure.
Not happening.
Yep. Some things are just going to be. Sometimes Dead's better.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Although I don't feel that with this Lost Silver thing, this Neon Nightmare, because they didn't use Typo.
I was gonna say they completely changed themselves, and yes, it has a very similar sound to it.
And this other vocalist, this deep voice man, because that's the Typo Negative thing. Peter Steele had a very deep voice.
Right.
You want to have that there, to say this is that, but we're respectfully not called the same. We're not even trying to say that we're the same thing. And in fact, again, there's not even word out there that this is those guys. Like they haven't even said, "Hey, Typo Negative people, give us your money." It's just, it feels they're doing it the right way.
I mean, the only band that I've ever heard that did it did that is AC/DC.
Mm.
I mean,
They've got big balls.
voice wise, they weren't trying to be.
Yep.
They went in a new direction, even though their voices had a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But I mean, they Back in Black was kind of a diversion from some of their previous tracks, but they still had a lot of the same sound and similarities.
Hey,
But
the song Back in Black,
yeah,
are the first words Back in Black, I hit the sack? Are
I
those the
don't think
first
it's
words?
I.
Hit the sack?
I think it's hit to say. I
What
don't
does
think
he
it's
mean?
I
What does
either.
that mean? Back in Black, hit the sack. I bet you know I'm glad to be back. What does that mean? Hit the sack. I mean, I get that that's a phrase that means I'm going to bed. But what is it just there to be a rhyme? Is this
I
back
think
in the
so.
days where you
I
just
think so.
could have things there just to
You can
rhyme?
say word salad, and as long as it
Like any
matches the
Aerosmith lyric?
melody, right?
I don't know, man.
It's up to interpretation. It's what
Yeah.
you want it.
Hit the
Right.
sack.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Smack somebody in the balls.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is he requesting that?
Yeah.
I'm Back in Black, and he's like, "All right, hit the sack." And I've entered the room. You got it. You know what you want me to
is he
do?
talking to a special someone when he says that? But
I really don't know. Maybe he's training in a gym and he wants them to hit the bag.
boxing, yeah.
Hit the
I don't know.
sack.
Maybe that's
You're right. It's interpretive. It's art. It's glorious. Well, I'm done. Please join our Discord.
absolutely.
Give us a like if you're on YouTube. Whatever you're doing, help us. Give us a big old kiss. And we'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Get a hold of Shawn. Get that comic book.
Yep.
Listen to those things. Do everything we told you to do.
Right.
And report back to us, please. Any last words, gentlemen?
We are getting ready for our October month, so we will in October have
some special things.
So
my last words are: do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah.
Do the damn thing.
Right.
Do the thing. Do the damn thing.
That's right. Amen. All right, gentlemen. It's been a blast.
Until next time.
And we will talk to you all next time.
Thank you as always for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Shawn.
Bye.